With Brian Mulroney and Jean Chrétien long gone, and Prime Minister Martin's minority government on the shakiest of ground, the only permanence Terry expects to find on this trip to Ottawa is in the buildings, even if they have a touch of the fake.
There's a false quality to the architecture in Ottawa. The Parliament buildings in the East and West Block, and even the Chateau Laurier, that appeals to me very much. A couple of months ago, I drew a cartoon, and I turned the Parliament buildings into a sort of a Disney fantasy land, because it has that full sort of tower look. You expect Tinkerbell to come shooting around. So it's this theme I'd sort of like to develop. Ottawa takes itself very seriously. You know, you've got security guards who take themselves very seriously, politicians who pontificate. And the fact of the matter is, it's very much like Fantasyland, because it has very little to do with most people out there having their Tim Hortons coffee in the morning. Very little to do with it. It's his own sort of presumptuous little world here. I was born within throwing distance of this building, an old hospital that was just down the road during the war. So I wonder if there's some sort of almost umbilical cord, you know, to this building. Who knows? You can do with the building what you do with individuals. You can make it sad, you can make it happy, you can make it farcical, whatever you want, by changing the mood, changing the drama, drawing it very dramatically, perhaps the Peace Tower, or insignificantly. So you do the same thing, actually, that you do with politicians. Towards the end of the Chrétien era, there was sort of an ooze coming out of the building, I felt. And a very smelly one. So that's exactly what I drew. Often it comes out of something that simple. People understand it as being theater, Gilbert and Sullivan, Shakespeare, whatever happened, to make valid comments. But at the same time, they really get a kick out of it. They get a kick out of it because I'm doing what a lot of them want to be doing. They want to be laughing at the machine, at the powers that govern us, and we're allowed to do that on a daily basis. There are countries in the world where I couldn't do this. I'd probably be thrown in jail or shot. So proof is in the pudding that I'm actually in a pretty good country, even though I criticize the hell out of it and laugh at the politicians, because we have that ability to laugh at ourselves, and always have. We laugh at our politicians like, look, go back. Jean Chrétien brings a smile to your face. Brian Mulroney, God, I miss him. René Lévesque. They were all delightful characters who we could have fun with, and to a certain extent they could laugh at themselves. Can't say the same thing about Iran.
He goes right to the essence and can be quite cutting. He just tended from time to time to make me look ridiculous, but I never felt personally hurt by any of them. But I found some of them quite funny at the time of Mr. Turner and Mr. Mulroney and myself. He did some where the three were in one cartoon. It's hard enough to get one person right, but he very often got all three right in a typically unflattering way.
Back on home turf, Terry was even less flattering to separatist leader Jacques Parizeau, lending him the name of a 19th century English rapist and serial killer. When the Quebec premier blamed money and the ethnic vote for the defeat of the second referendum, the cartoonist hid a prophylactic in Parizeau's drink.
I don't think all cartoonists test the limits of their editors in the same way that Terry always did. Sometimes you got a sort of a feeling that maybe there's something in this one I should really check carefully for. And so I'd be sitting behind my desk and he'd be standing in front of me. And I'd be going over it millimeter by millimeter. And he'd be saying, "There's nothing there, Joan, there's nothing there. Nothing for you to worry about." And I'd say, "That's a swastika," or whatever.
It's not malicious, it's mischievous when you do stuff like that, when you put a little something in. And you can see here how easy it is in terms of just drawing whatever you're drawing. To hide something in Bush's ear would be a very easy thing to do without anybody knowing. You know, you might even have just a little cork coming out of it, but it could be a lot more than that. So I will do that from time to time, but I'm not going to show you where or how or when, because it becomes a little bit of a game for people to look. Subsequent to that, people look at my cartoons and they keep looking for things, and sometimes they find things that aren't even there. I was once tempted to come here because I had an odd situation where the Toronto Star was trying to lure me, and I was working partly for them and partly for the Gazette. But after a period of time, quite frankly, Montreal really had the appeal, and I decided, no, I'm staying. Look, Toronto plays at the game of being a world-class city, and in many ways it is. They have wonderful museums and all kinds of things, like a great deal of activity, but they just can't help themselves. There's still that tight-ass attitude. I like it, because I can draw cartoons about it, but I don't want to live in it.
The bulk of it goes up on.
Nice place to visit, though, especially with Maclean's magazine publishing Aislin's work weekly.
We'll probably, just highlight this. He'd select Blair, and then everything else behind it.
Okay.
And just probably bring the level
Wonderful.
down.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Toning this down, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get a little more.
I've got the best of all possible worlds, to have a really good gig in Montreal and to be able to come down here. Actually, Mordecai Richler inspired me very much in that way. He was a guy who managed to stay in Montreal, but what he did was he developed publishers and contacts in New York, here in Toronto, and so on.
This week's drawing is finished, and Mosher, ever the hustler,
Mr. White, I carried on.
visits Editor-in-Chief Ken White, encouraging him to lighten up his magazine with more cartoons.
We can always use more humor in the magazine.
I would say.
The Honorable Barbara McDougall once said of the cartoonist Terry Mosher, "We all know Aislin recognizes no limits, displays no judgment. I find it not only personally offensive, but frightening on behalf of all Canadians." Exactly. Terry.
If I or any other cartoonist have done anything to upset you in terms of how we've dealt with your favorite politician, your favorite political party, favorite cause, religion, whatever it happens to be, understand that satire is really a test. Poking, poking, poking. Can you take it? Can you laugh? And it's very important, I think. Subsequently, we get off a little bit on upsetting people. The Supreme Court of Canada ruled last December that same-sex marriage was okay. But not all Canadians are happy about this. Gay marriage will lead to polygamy. We told you so man has married to 14 other men. Bringing us then to Stephen Harper, who announced that he could solve all Canada's problems with something called the Belgium model. We don't confine ourselves to politics anymore. There's just too much fun stuff going on. It used to be strictly political stuff on the editorial page. Here, we have a typical Canadian on certain days in July. Maybe have a little cranberry and orange juice.
Cranberry and orange?
Yeah.
Half and half?
That's great.
After his talk, Terry does a little liquor-free socializing with the Toronto crowd, but isn't quite as comfortable with people as he was in his party days.
I like to be reasonably gregarious for a reasonable amount of time, say 20 minutes. When I was younger and started to drink, that was probably a cure for my shyness at the time. It made me immediately gregarious and able to mix with people and so on. Now, after being sober for a period of time, you kind of go back to a little bit of the shyness that I had initially. So I make an effort. I've taught myself to make an effort, get along with people, be sociable, that sort of thing. But I am really quite happy on my own for long periods of time.